Lesson 3.3, proving that lines are parallel. It's very similar to the last lesson we did, but we're just dealing with the converse of each statement. So this is what we learned in the last lesson. When lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are also congruent, as well as alternate exterior angles. The only one that's different is same side interior angles, and they are supplementary. It all starts with us knowing the lines are parallel. Then we know all this. However, what today's lesson is the converse of each of those statements. If corresponding angles are congruent, then we know the lines are parallel. So what we're trying to decide this time is either are the lines parallel or what would make the lines parallel. Honestly, it's not that much different. But it has to be one of these four reasons. Okay, so what type of angles would you call these? They are corresponding. So if corresponding angles are congruent, which these are, is that enough to say the lines are parallel? And the answer is yes. So are these two lines parallel? Yes. And your, it says state the postulate or theorem you would use. Oh, I'm sorry. You would say corresponding angles congruent. These are alternate interior angles. That is our second reason. So we say yes, the lines are parallel because the alternate interior angles are congruent. These are what we call vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent. Now remember, we're trying to decide if M and N are parallel, and most students tell me yes, they're obviously parallel. That, I mean, you can't base it on your eyes. So notice on this picture, this one and this one are congruent. That's what the other picture said. And these M and N look parallel, but I'm going to make it to where M and N don't look parallel. Now it's very obvious M and N aren't parallel, but notice those two can still be congruent. So that doesn't tell us anything about whether the lines would be parallel. So we're going to go with no. On this one, these are not any type of angles that we've learned. Like this one would be vertical with this one, and then they'd be same side interior, but they're congruent, and same side interior are supplementary. They could be both, but that didn't tell us that they're both. So this is a no. Here we have alternate interior angles, and that is enough to say that they are parallel when alternate exterior angles are congruent. And this one is exactly the same, alternate exterior angles. And you can also have same side interior angles be supplementary. That just wasn't on any of these examples. Okay, so literally when you're dealing with problems like this, all that changes is it does not tell you the lines are parallel, and it says to find the value of x that would make them parallel. So to make these lines parallel, these two corresponding angles must be congruent. So you still solve them the same way. So 120 would have to equal 3x. Divide by 3, and you would have to get 40 for x. Now this one is a little tricky. The 2x plus 20 goes here, and the 3x goes here. Those are alternate interior angles, which are also going to be congruent if the lines are going to be parallel. So you set them equal. Subtract the 2x, and you get x is 20. Now if you want to pause it here and try the other 6, you can, or you can wait and see these two examples. These are alternate exterior angles, which are also congruent if the lines are parallel. So set them equal, add x, you get 180 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2 and you get x is 90. On this one you have same side interior. Those are the ones that are supplementary. So for these lines to be parallel, 150 plus 3x minus 15 must equal 180. Now I've also seen people say if this one's 150 and they have to add to 180, this one has to be 30, and then they just set 30 equal to this. That's fine. It just won't always work out because you might not always have a whole number. So 150 and a negative 15 make 135. Subtract the 135. You get 3x equals 45. So x equals 15. These are also same side interior, so you add them up, set them equal to 180. 3x equals 180, that would make x equal 60. Now if you haven't tried any of these on your own, I really recommend you stop and try this one. These are corresponding angles, so they must be congruent. Subtract the 15, you get 120. Divide by 2, you get x equals 60. And that's it.